Today, we're going to review how to graph a line and how to put it in the correct format, y equals mx plus b, which makes it easy to graph. If the equation is not solved for y, then we have to solve for y in order to find the slope and the y-intercept. To graph, just like we did last week, always start on the y-intercept and plot the b. Then follow the slope to get a second point on your line and draw your line in. So looking at problem number 1, it says we've got 2x minus 3y equals 12. Well, it's in the wrong format. We want this to be y equals. So we always move the unattached part first, which means we want to subtract the 2x from both sides. Now, when we subtract 2x from both sides, the 2x's on the left-hand side are going to cancel out. We're left with a negative 3y equals, and you want to put the x term first. So you're going to put the negative 2x and then the plus 12. Once it's set up like this, the next step is to get y completely by itself. So we have to divide everything by negative 3. Divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3. When we do that, now we've got y is equal to negative 2x divided by negative 3. A negative divided by a negative becomes a positive. So we've got 2/3 x. And 12 divided by negative 3 is a negative 4. Now it's in the form of y equals mx plus b. We always start with the b, and that's our y-intercept, where our graph crosses the y-axis. So I'm going to travel down to negative 4 on the y-axis and make a point. So just go down 1, 2, 3, 4, and make a point. There's the first point on my line. To travel to any other point, we're going to follow our slope, the number that's in front of the x. Remember that slope, we use the letter m for, is equal to rise over run. Well, if I have a positive 2 over a positive 3, then from that point, I'm going to go up 2 and forward 3 and make a second point for my line. Once I have 2 points, then I can draw my line in. Now let's take a look at problem number 2. Again, we've got to get y by itself. So you're always going to move the x over first. And let's start by subtracting an x from both sides. When I do that, I'm going to be left with a 4y is equal to, oops, sorry about that, negative x plus 20. We always want to put the x term first. Once we have the 4y equals negative x plus 20, we want to divide everything by 4. And we're going to be left with y equals, we want to rewrite negative x over 4 as negative 1/4 x. And then 20 divided by 4 is going to give me a positive 5. Once again, now that it's in the right format, we're going to start with that b, which is our y-intercept. This time, my b is a positive 5. So on the y-axis, I'm going to go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and make a point. My slope is a negative 1/4. So if I want to travel my slope of negative 1 over 4, I'm now going to go down 1 and forward 1, 2, 3, 4, and make a point. Then I can draw my line in of y equals negative 1/4 x plus 5. Moving on to 3 and 4. Number 3 is actually a short one to solve. I'm going to get that negative 3x to the other side. So just like we've been doing, I want to move it over. I'm going to do the opposite. So I'm going to add 3x to both sides. My 3x's are going to cancel. And look at y is by itself. Y equals, always put the x term first, 3x minus 4. We can start with our y-intercept, and that's going to be a b of negative 4. So travel on the y-axis down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and make a point. My slope is 3, and we know that slope always has two parts. So 3 can be rewritten as 3 over 1. Which means that if I have a positive slope of 3 over 1, I'm going to travel up 1, 2, 3 over 1 and make a point. Now I can draw in my line y equals 3x minus 4. One last one of these. For number 4, first thing we got to do is move that 4x over. So let's go ahead and subtract 4x from both sides. Bring down the 6y. Equals negative 4x. If you want to write it as negative 4x plus 0, you can. Then let's divide everything by 6. And so I have y equals, now 4 and 6 are both even numbers. So then I can divide both of those by 2. Negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2 over 6 divided by 2 is 3. So that's going to reduce down to y equals negative 2/3 x. And I'm going to go ahead and put this as plus 0. So we start with our y-intercept, which is 0, which means our line goes through the middle here called the origin. Then we want to follow our slope. Our m is negative 2/3. So I can travel down 1, 2, and forward 1, 2, 3. Make a second point on my line and graph my line.